You know what? I'm about to say something that's going to make half of you lose your minds and smash that comment section, but someone needs to say it. Seth Rollins is a hypocrite. And after what just went down on Monday Night Raw, there's no denying it anymore. The man who spent years, literally years, preaching about being the people's champion, about doing things the right way, about standing up to tyranny, just sold his soul right back to the devil himself. Roman Reigns. Let me ask you this, how can you spend 3 years fighting against the Bloodline, taking chair shots, enduring beatdowns, sacrificing your body at WrestleMania, only to turn around and shake the hand of the man who made your life a living hell? Make it make sense. Drop your answer in the comments right now because I genuinely want to know how anyone can defend what Seth Rollins just did to Bron Breakker. But before we get into the absolute chaos that unfolded, let me paint the picture for you. Because what happened on Raw wasn't just a betrayal, it was calculated destruction. It was personal, and it might have just changed the entire landscape of WWE heading into the next premium live event. The night started with Bron Breakker on an absolute warpath. The second-generation superstar has been unstoppable 4 months now, mowing through legends and up-and-comers alike. He's been vocal about wanting to prove he's the future of WWE, that he doesn't need a faction, doesn't need help, and certainly doesn't need the approval of the so-called veterans of the industry. That confidence, that cockiness, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But here's where things get interesting. Breakker specifically called out Seth Rollins during a backstage segment, saying, and I quote, "Seth, you're nothing but a relic trying to hold on to relevance. Your time is up, and I'm the one writing the future." Boom. Shots fired. The disrespect was palpable, and the crowd was eating it up. You could feel the tension building because everyone knows Seth doesn't back down from a challenge. The visionary, the revolutionary, the architect, whatever you want to call him, is faced and beaten the absolute best. Quick question for you, do you think Bron Breakker was right to call out Seth Rollins like that, or did he bite off more than he could chew? Let me know below. Seth responded exactly how you'd expect. He accepted Breakker's challenge for a one-on-one match later that night, but with one condition: no interference, no backup, just two men settling their differences in the ring. Pure, simple, the way wrestling should be. Breakker agreed, that smug grin never leaving his face, like he already knew how the story would end. When that bell rang, these two went to war. I'm talking about hard-hitting, physical, leave-it-all-in-the-ring action. Breakker came out with his signature aggression, using his amateur wrestling background to ground Rollins early. Shoulder tackles that echoed through the arena, a snap power slam that had the commentary team losing their minds, and that freakish athleticism that makes you forget he's built like a tank. But Seth is Seth for a reason. The man has main event WrestleMania multiple times, has held every major championship, and has been in the ring with everyone from Brock Lesnar to Cody Rhodes. He weathered the storm, started working over Breakker's leg to slow down his power game, and began building momentum with his high-flying offense. Sling blade, suicide dive, superplex into a falcon arrow for a close 2 count that had the crowd on their feet. This match was an instant classic in the making. Back and forth, neither man giving an inch, both desperate to prove they were the better competitor. Breakker hit a thunderous spear that nearly ended it, but Rollins kicked out at 2.5. The place erupted. Seth went for the stomp, but Breakker moved, caught him with a brutal German suplex, and the momentum shifted again. Here's another one for the comments. Who do you think was winning before everything fell apart? Team Rollins or Team Breakker? Then, just when it looked like Seth was about to hit the curb stomp and put Breakker away, the lights flickered. That entrance music hit. The music that sends chills down every WWE fan's spine. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the undisputed champion of our generation. And he wasn't alone. Paul Heyman was by his side, that sinister smile already forming. The referee was distracted, and before anyone could process what was happening, Roman slid into the ring. Superman punch to Bron Breakker out of nowhere. The kid crumpled. The crowd was in absolute chaos, half booing, half in shock. Seth looked confused, conflicted even, like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Roman and Seth have been enemies for so long, their rivalry is the stuff of legend. Why would Roman help him now? But here's where it gets even more twisted. Instead of attacking Seth, Roman extended his hand. The crowd went nuclear. The boos were deafening. Seth stared at that hand for what felt like an eternity, conflict written all over his face. This was the man who tortured him, the man who made him question everything about himself, the man who represented everything Seth claimed to stand against. And then, he took it. Seth Rollins shook Roman Reigns' hand, and the two of them proceeded to annihilate Bron Breakker. Repeated curb stomps. A devastating spear. They beat that man down like he owed them money. Steel chairs got involved. The announce table was destroyed. Breakker was left motionless in a pool of his own destruction, and Seth and Roman stood tall, a unified force of absolute dominance. Paul Heyman grabbed a microphone, and what he said next sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. He announced that Seth Rollins wasn't just aligning with Roman Reigns for one night, he was joining the Bloodline. The new Bloodline. A bloodline built not just on family, but on legacy, on dominance, on acknowledging the true hierarchy of professional wrestling. Let that sink in. Seth Rollins, the man who fought tooth and nail against the Bloodline's tyranny, has now become part of it. The man who stood beside Cody Rhodes, who fought for the people, has aligned himself with the very system he claimed to despise. Drop in the comments, is Seth Rollins the biggest hypocrite in WWE history, or is this actually a genius move that we're all too blind to see right now? Now, before you think I'm defending this betrayal, hear me out. From a story perspective, this might actually be brilliant. Seth has been in WWE for over a decade. He's done it all, but he's also seen his body break down. He's watched younger guys like Bron Breakker come in with no respect for the veterans who built this industry. Maybe, just maybe, Seth realized that if you can't beat them, join them. Roman has held championship gold for over 1,300 days. The Bloodline, whether you love them or hate them, has dominated WWE for years. Seth might have looked at Roman's success and thought, why am I fighting against the winning side? It's morally corrupt, sure. It's a betrayal of everything he stood for, absolutely. But in wrestling, sometimes survival means making alliances you never thought you would. Or maybe, and this is the darker possibility, Seth has been planning this all along. Maybe the years of fighting the Bloodline were just a setup. Maybe Seth never really changed after his original betrayal of the Shield all those years ago. Maybe, deep down, Seth Rollins is and always has been exactly what Bron Breakker called him, a relic desperately clinging to relevance by any means necessary. Let's talk about the real victim here, Bron Breakker. The man was finally on the verge of a career-defining victory over a main event talent, and he got screwed. Not by one legend, but by two. This isn't just a setback, this is character-defining. How Breakker responds to this will determine if he's truly ready for the main event scene or if he was just another young guy who wasn't ready for the politics and games of WWE's top tier. Breakker has the talent, the look, the pedigree, but does he have the mental fortitude to overcome being blindsided like this? The smart money says this fuels an even more vicious, more dangerous version of Bron Breakker. He's going to come back with a vengeance, and when he does, neither Seth nor Roman will be safe. Last question for you, what should Bron Breakker's next move be? Should he go after Seth, Roman, or both? Tell me in the comments. This alliance changes everything going forward. If Seth and Roman are truly united, who can stop them? Cody Rhodes has his hands full with other challengers. Centimeter Punk is doing his own thing. The roster is stacked, but these are two of the greatest in-ring performers of this generation working together. They've got the experience, the ruthlessness, and now the numbers advantage with the Bloodline backing them. We might be looking at the beginning of the most dominant faction in modern WWE history. Or, and this is equally possible, we're watching the setup for the most explosive betrayal the company has seen in years. Because let's be real, can Seth and Roman really trust each other? Their history is too deep, too violent, too personal. One of them is going to turn on the other eventually, and when that happens, it's going to be explosive. What we witnessed on Raw wasn't just a shocking moment, it was a paradigm shift. The landscape of WWE has been completely altered, and no one is safe. Bron Breakker is out for blood, the locker room is divided, and two of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling are now working together. So I'll leave you with this, was Seth Rollins' betrayal the smartest career move he's ever made, or the most disgusting act of hypocrisy in WWE history? Sound off in the comments below. Hit that like button if you're as shocked as I am, and subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 because trust me, we're going to be covering every single twist and turn of this story as it unfolds. This is far from over. This is just the beginning.